This week, another horrific random attack on the subway.
This should have never happened. It should not happen in New York.
Plus, an act of hate at an iconic New York City deli. And new evidence is revealed in the Gilgo Beach serial killer case. Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. Here are the crimes across the 5 boroughs. We begin this week in the heart of Manhattan, where a woman is left fighting for her life after being shoved into a speeding train.
Even as I was coming down the escalator and I saw the wanted poster, I saw a woman standing by it. I want to know what's going on.
Riders entering the 5th Avenue 53rd Street subway station are anxious.
Plaster myself against the wall and stand back. It's like really horrific.
It's lunchtime Thursday and the stop in Midtown is bustling. But it was just 24 hours before, around noon, when police say 39-year-old Sabir Jones became violent on the EF train platform, pushing a 30-year-old woman into the side of the moving train. She hit her head, then fell onto the tracks. Good Samaritans helped her up and called 911, but she's still fighting for her life, coming out of surgery in critical condition. And just moments before the push, a 26-year-old man reported that he was punched so hard in the face, his jaw was fractured, and it happened on this same platform. Now, police have not confirmed whether it's the same suspect, but both victims appear to have been chosen at random.
It's just so scary to think that it could happen to any innocent person.
No way. This does not work.
MTA CEO and Chair Jano Lieber says the MTA and NYPD are in the stations working to identify the mentally ill. Then a team made up of a cop and a clinician are called to quickly remove the individual from the public space.
We're going to keep fighting on this. We are not putting up with anything like this.
And according to the city, it's been working. The NYPD says pushings are down from 22 last year to 15 this year. But longtime New Yorkers are still wary, believing something has shifted, leaving them feeling unsafe.
I don't know what it is, if it was the pandemic that has driven people over the edge, but this is very unnecessary. This should have never happened. It should not happen in New York.
Heading downtown a bit, a 32-year-old man is fatally shot in the head at an after-hours party.
Police say a 32-year-old man was found shot and killed in a building in Midtown.
Sources tell Fox 5 the victim was at an after-hours party. Fox 5's Kendall Green has the very latest.
Crime scene tape, police lights and shielded officers lined 7th Avenue in Midtown Sunday morning.
It is scary for stuff like this to be happening in your neighborhood, especially, you're working here or something like that.
NYPD officers arrived around 5:30 a.m. to find the victim, identified by police as 32-year-old Stephen Mussington of Manhattan, shot in the head. He was lying on the second-floor landing of 355 7th Avenue, the 3-story building seen here blocked off with white tape. Witnesses choosing not to go on camera, recalling that early morning shooting.
They were running out of there. They were naked. They were getting dressed and screaming and crying, saying he was dead. He was dead.
Sources claim the man was shot at an after-hours party before EMS responded, pronouncing Mussington dead on scene. A peek through the 3rd-floor window inside where that shooting stemmed from, you can see strobe lights in what appears to be a stripper pole. It's the site of Foxy Fitness and Pole.
It's an illegal after-hours nightclub / strip club. It doesn't have a permit, operates past 4.
Police confirmed the business is an after-hours establishment. Left behind from the deadly shooting scene, a pair of heels. Witnesses say a group was trying to escape the sound of gunfire.
Women, guys, it was just a lot of people just running, and they were saying they were jumping over his body.
The person behind the gun apparently escaped as well.
They say he jumped out the window, and I heard them saying he jumped out the window.
It's sad to see that, a place like this, something like this happens.
Now, police have confirmed with Fox 5 that some type of dispute started in Foxy Fitness and Pole and led to that shooting, and so far there have been no arrests.
Next in Brooklyn, officials warning visitors to Fort Greene Park, be on the lookout for fentanyl.
During good times, Fort Greene Park is known for its greenery, but these days the color green is raising red flags. Little plastic containers pictured here have been discovered in different parts of the park, including the central lawn and in the playground area. The problem is so prevalent, Amy, a mother of 2, has found the containers herself.
You've seen them?
Yeah, here.
In the playground?
Yes.
What's your reaction to seeing this?
It was crazy. It was really crazy. I have kids too, so It's very crazy.
Fearing they may contain fentanyl, a warning has gone out from park officials here, telling visitors to be careful, sending out pictures along with messages on social media and through emails. Locals fear the toy-like containers attracts the attention of children as well as that of dogs.
Well, it's awful, and I'm worried about my dog, of course.
I mean, I'm pretty vigilant with my dog, and I don't have small kids. I think that that's certainly a group of people who's probably more concerned about it.
While the canisters that were found here are in the process of being tested to see if they contain the deadly drug fentanyl, park officials here are not taking any chances, especially after what happened with that daycare in the Bronx. Last month, a 1-year-old died after fentanyl exposure at a daycare in the Bronx, believed to have been sickened with trace amounts as the daycare was being used as cover for a drug operation. Fentanyl can be 50 times more potent than heroin.
Everybody should be careful.
With this park being a jewel in this neighborhood, a walk in the park now comes with a new hazard.
Back in Manhattan, an iconic Upper East Side eatery vandalized with anti-Semitic graffiti.
A kosher deli on the Upper East Side has been vandalized with a swastika.
This after the restaurant shared pro-Israel content on its social media pages.
Fox 5's Stephanie Bertini talked to the owner, who says this is about more than just what's going on in Israel.
The NYPD is investigating the vandalism after the owner reported it. This is a family business with deep ties to the Jewish community, and they're taking this as a direct and personal attack.
It was over here on the...
So it's here?
Yeah.
Okay. A swastika, gone now, but widely recognized as a symbol for Jewish hate, appeared as vandalism on the building that houses the 2nd Avenue Deli.
At our core, we are a Jewish deli, and that's in our DNA. It's in the food that we serve, and it's in the culture that you feel when you come and you walk through the front door.
The business on the Upper East Side has deep roots in the community.
We really do have all types of customers.
Owner Jeremy Liebewald says the message is devastating for him, his family, and his customers.
It's very specific. It's just Jew hatred, plain and clear.
As the Israeli-Hamas war rages on, the world is reacting, from politicians to protesters. And Liebewald connects this vandalism, which we've blurred because of its offensive nature, to the conflict and the dialogue.
This is around the world. We've seen riots everywhere.
He reported the incident to the NYPD. He says after posting pro-Israeli content on the business social media, the vandalism appeared.
My hope is that they figure out who did it.
The NYPD never figured out who killed his uncle in the 90s, the original owner of the deli, when it was located at 10th and 2nd Avenue.
We still have a sign in the window for all these years.
While the business has had its share of heartache and challenges, this vandalism at one of its 2 current locations still hurts very much.
Looks like you can still see it. I have to do a better job cleaning it. You can still see some of the remnants.
As he says, it feels like an attack on everything they are. While covering the story today, we learned another piece of vandalism, specifically a swastika, popped up across the street. We're not showing it on television because, again, it's offensive. But the owner worries that more of this kind of hate will keep coming up.
Barely a block away, a late-night argument outside a bar on 2nd Avenue ends in gunfire.
Breaking news around here this morning. A man has been shot outside a bar on the Upper East Side. It happened just before 3 o'clock this morning at East 76th Street and 2nd Avenue. Police say a 32-year-old man was leaving the bar with a 29-year-old woman when they got into some kind of dispute, an argument with another man and woman. The situation turned violent as the male suspect pulled out a gun and opened fire, hitting that victim in the leg. The 29-year-old woman also suffered a cut to her face. Both those victims were taken to the hospital in what's described to us as stable condition. That suspect and his companion are still on the loose. Investigators still looking for them as this case moves forward.
And finally, leaving the city, prosecutors say new evidence could link suspected serial killer Rex Heuermann to even more murders.
Well, new developments in the infamous Gilgo Beach murders.
Tonight, an attorney representing some of the victims coming forward to say he has new evidence that he says links suspect Rex Heuermann to 2 other victims. Jody Goldberg has the latest.
4 witnesses coming forward, 2 of them giving sworn statements. This new information offers a glimpse into suspected serial killer Rex Heuermann's life.
This is something that's very important to me. I'm going to continue to grind to make sure anybody that had an interaction with our defendant, Rex Heuermann, is held accountable in this case.
There's a pattern of a guy who likes to play kind of sporting games with the sex workers, chases them, haunts them, hunts them. That's what we're looking at.
John Ray, the attorney for some of the victims in the notorious case, stood beside Suffolk's Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison, reading accounts from women who decided to speak out after recognizing Huerman in handcuffs. One account alleges his then-wife Asa Ellerup posted their contact information to engage in swinger sex back in 1996, saying she knew what was going on.
He was a serial user of sex workers. He would sometimes have them come 2 at a time to his house, and his wife was home upstairs, and in one instance got very angry at one of the sex workers because the wife believed that the worker had stolen an iron.
That same witness recognized Karen Vergata's picture. She was a sex worker and the first known victim. She remembers bringing her to Huerman's home. Ray also spoke to a taxi driver who claims she saw Shannon Gilbert with Huerman in a motel back in 2009.
The driver knows her well and notices that she has a drooping eye, and it helps her to remember Shannon when she sees her later on.
Ray says the witnesses came forward to help advance the case. He says his phone lines are open for anyone who wants to talk and doesn't want to go to police. But the district attorney's office says it'll be investigated through the grand jury, and private attorneys aren't part of the task force. Now, Huerman is due back in court on November 15th. We reached out to his attorney, who has no comment.
Meanwhile, the attorney representing Huerman's wife is disputing the claims made against his client, releasing a statement to Fox 5, reading in part. This is a desperate attempt by Johnny Ray to stay relevant in a case that he's been chasing his tail on for 12 years. He's looking to attach any civil defendant he can to try and recuperate the tens of thousands of dollars he spent.
And that's this week's Crime in the City. Subscribe for more at youtube.com/Fox5NY.